Hello and good afternoon, and welcome to this brand new edition of You Orns pre-match for Sheffield Wednesday versus Watford. Hello to you everywhere across the world. Omar here with another edition of the pre-match, and I want to thank you very much indeed for joining me on YouTube and, of course, on Instagram as we get ready for this kickoff in just under 45 minutes' time. And of course, I do hope that you have adjusted, if you're in the UK watching this, to the time difference, or at least to your clocks being put back 1 hour. We'll be doing that here in the United States, I think tomorrow morning. And it's great to see everybody in Instagram land. Lewis, hello. Hughie, hello. Come on, you on, says Lewis. Hello there, Lewis. Mal, come in there and say hello to us, Mal. Hello. I'm glad that you have. Omar here again on a YouTube and on Instagram with the You Orns pre-match. And Richard says hello as well on Instagram. Hello, Richard. I hope you are well. Here, your comments are always welcome from a Watford perspective, and we'd like to hear from you. I'd love to read your comments out. So please don't waste any time and put your comments out there. Hello, Mal. Nice to see you. Thank you. Mal says hello. Thank you, Mal, for that. And on YouTube, I'll be reading your comments out as well. Matt has said hello to us, and his comment is this: let's hope today our away form can improve, says Matt on YouTube. And he continues on by saying this: we need to stay strong at the back and control the game. If the Watford players think of it as a home game and not an away game, then maybe then our away form will improve. Yeah, let's play some psychological head games there, Matt. I think that's a good approach from a Watford view. I think that they have to be tricked into believing that they're at Vicarage Road today and not at Hillsborough. Now, we'll see if that approach works. But Matt, thank you very much indeed for your remarks on YouTube. At this point, I would love to get people's comment on predictions. I'm going to read out some, and then I'm going to give my own. In fact, this is Michael Hobson on YouTube who beat me to it. He has said, "Hey Omar, prediction for today: Sheffield Wednesday 1, Watford 2," and that is exactly what the prediction I was going to give was. So Michael, in predicting, has predicted my prediction, and I hadn't even given it out yet. So that is my prediction as well. Michael and yours truly have both gone with Sheffield Wednesday 1, Watford 2. That was exactly what I was going to do before Michael put his prediction up. I want your predictions, everybody. Joe Larkin has joined us. Hello, Joe. Yours. Well done, Joe. Good to see you again, as always. Joe Larkin's got a prediction. He says he is hoping for a 3-1 win today for the Orns. And we'll see. We'll see. Watford have, I don't remember the last time Watford scored 3 goals this season. Could it have been the game against Stoke, which was at the beginning of the season? Or really, the first home game of the season was against Stoke. I think that might have been the last time we scored 3 goals, perhaps. I know we scored 3 against Millwall the week before. So, I'm trying to think off the top, and I'm not talking about Carabao Cup because we scored, 8 goals against MK Dons. But or whatever it was, 8-5, whatever the total was against, and I think it was 8 against MK Dons. But I'm not thinking about the Carabao Cup. I'm talking about in the Championship. When was the last time we scored 3 goals in the Championship match? I really think it had to be the game against Stoke. Might have been the last time. Someone can look that up and get the record on that. But I think it was Stoke. Was the last time we scored 3 in the Championship this season. So it's great to see you all here. What do you think of the lineup today? The lineup, of course, has relatively been unchanged except for Duoma. Duoma gets his first start in a Watford shirt in the Championship, so that will be exciting to see what Pierre Duoma does for us. I think he's been pretty useful so far in the limited time that he has been in a Watford shirt on the pitch. And, we'll see how that goes today. But otherwise, it's a relatively unchanged side for Watford. Jack Boddington from Australia has called in. Hello, Jack. Hello, Omar. How are you, mate? Jack, I'm very well, and I hope you are well as well. Nice to see you, Jack, from down under, where it's probably close to 10 o'clock at night there now, something like that. 10, 11, maybe 11 o'clock at night, pretty late into the night in Australia. Let us know what the time check is, Jack. Of course, here in the United States, here in California, it is 7:22 in the morning. I had forgotten actually that in my native country that you put your clocks back 1 hour last Sunday morning, and so I was expecting to do this an hour earlier, but then I remembered once I saw that there was no lineup released yet. Oh, it's another hour from now, so it's good to get back into the swing of things here. Like to get your comments on the game, your prediction, I should say, on this game today. Very happy, says Joe Larkin, to see Dwoma starting. Yep, I share your sentiments, Joe, on that. I think that I think he'll give a real fresh perspective to Watford. And so it's nice to see him start today. Darren Gristwood says hello. Hello, Darren. How are you there on Instagram? More from Instagram before I continue on the YouTube comments. Keep them coming, everyone. It's nice to see you. Welcome aboard this edition of the You Orns pre-match. We'll go for a few more minutes here ahead of course, Sheffield Wednesday versus Watford. Wednesday versus Watford on a Saturday afternoon. This was the first time, by the way, I can remember in quite a while where Watford have played Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough on a Saturday. If I remember correctly, the last few times that Watford have taken a travel up to Hillsborough in Yorkshire, they've been playing a lot of them games midweek. So I know the last one was a midweek game. And the previous one to that was a midweek game. So we'll see how Saturday does for Watford away from home. As Matt said earlier, we desperately need a change in our away form. We have had a horrible run away. We've lost 5 consecutive away games in the championship, of course. We have not won away since the start of the season. And so I am fully expecting that the boys will put in the kind of performance that's worthy of not only, put in an effort, I should say, that's worthy of something that we can get 3 points from against a very difficult Sheffield Wednesday side. Sheffield Wednesday going to be a difficult proposition today. But I think we can get this done. I've predicted a 2-1. And on that front, I'm going to read out more comments on YouTube and on Instagram. The prediction on Instagram from Mal. Hello there, Mal, once again. Mal says, hope we have and need a big January transfer market. Today, 1-3 away win at last, says Mal. Thank you, Mal, for your comments on Instagram. So Mal's going through a 3-1 Watford win at Hillsborough today. What are you going for on YouTube in terms of Watford today with the prediction? And on Instagram, keep those predictions coming as well. David Lambert says, hello. Hello, David. Hope you're well. I look forward to seeing you later on in the post-match. And we'll have post-match, of course, here on YouTube, here on Instagram, and of course on X with the call-in that we will do shortly before going to Instagram. Pardon me, to Instagram there. Jack Boddington says, I'm quite good, Omar. Got accepted for a job at the Perth Glory Football Club. It's currently 10:22 here. Congratulations, Jack, on being accepted for a job with Perth Glory. That's excellent stuff. I'm very pleased for you. And I hope that everything goes well for you there at Perth Glory FC. I'm confident that it will. Great to see you, Jack Boddington. And he says it is currently 10:22 at night here in Australia. So there we go. In Oz, excuse me, not in Oz, in Down Under. Don't say Oz to an Australian. I'm sorry. I'm getting myself mixed up here. Kiwis. You do not want to say anything about Kiwis to Aussies, and you don't want to say anything about Aussies to Kiwis. I think that Jack Boddington knows exactly what I am talking about. More comments coming in, and Matt says, going to predict Sheffield Wednesday 0, Watford 2. That's Matt on YouTube. Thank you, Matt, for your comments as ever. Oh, wow, he's gone even one better than just predicting the score. He is predicting who's going to score the goals, and he says Bar and Kayembe to score. Wow. Kayembe, of course, scored the only goal of the match last week against Blackburn Rovers. That was the 1-0 win from the penalty spot. Mr. Kayembe put the ball into the back of the net really adroitly. Really loved that penalty that he took. I guess that means now that with TDB on the shelf for the foreseeable future, that Kayembe is going to be your penalty taker. I think that's what's going to happen for Watford. I'm very pleased that he has stepped up and done that very well so far, 1 from the spot. We'll see. We'll look forward to seeing if Kayembe does get on the score sheet today. Kwadwo Bar, that's a good pick. I would say that's a good bet for a goal today from him against the Sheffield Wednesday side, who are very good this season. I think they had a good run to end last season, and that run that they had to end last season has springboarded them to mid-table this season. They've gone on a decent run, Sheffield Wednesday. So I'm not saying that anybody in these pre-match fora are taking Wednesday lightly, but I certainly think that Wednesday are going to put up a really good fight. They are, as Tom cleverly said during the week, they are well organized. They absolutely are. Danny Rule is a good manager, younger manager for Wednesday. I think he's given them some stability there, and he's given them some confidence. So Watford will have to go into this game not taking anything for granted, and they're going to have to start well. That's the key. And speaking of starting well, Matt says, let's hope Bio starts as well as he did when he come on last weekend. Yeah, that would be great. I think that Bio got the start today, Matt, on the strength of what he did last week when he came off the bench. He was excellent. I think that's the best game he's played this season for Watford. He was so, I mean, again, he does the usual hard work and endeavor and fighting for the team as he always does, but there was something extra about Bio in that match last Saturday. He was up for it. He was really into it. He was very lively and energetic, and it's good to see. You know, he didn't play the previous game, if memory serves me correctly, or certainly one of those 2 games he did not play the previous game for. I think it was against Leeds. I don't think he came into that game. I'm not sure. He might have come into that game, but there was a game in recent weeks where Bio did not play at all. And I think the combination of him not playing at all, and also the idea that Kwadwo Bar, even though Bar is not a striker by trade, has come in and begun to energize this Watford lineup, has probably given Bio something to think about. Maybe it's a friendly little competition. Look, Bio has scored only once, and Bar has scored 2 goals. He scored more goals than Bio has. I mean, 2-1 in the championship, you know, but Bio has not scored since that game against Derby County, which seems like for a galaxy ago. That was back before the first, if I'm not mistaken, before the first international window, the international break came, the first one. That was back in August. So, you know, it's been a long, long time. We're now in November. Oh my God, it's been a long, long time since Bio has scored. So, Matt, we'll see. I think that Bio will come out with a healthier, fresher approach, and he knows it because at this point, I think that, Bio's going to have to give of his best, as he always does, but he's going to have to start scoring some goals because Watford need goals. And the transfer market Mal referred to on Instagram, we'll need a big January transfer market he's hoping for. But the reality is, and I should answer this from what Mal said on Instagram, the reality is that January is generally not a very busy time for most football clubs. The transfer market in January is far more restrictive because you've got a lot of the business that had been done for the season done in the summer. And very rarely, if there is any activity in January, do clubs in the championship reap the benefits of that, because usually it's the Premier League teams that get the pick of the bunch. And not only that, it might not be the transfer window. We may get who we want, who'd like in the transfer window, but it may not be the player that we want. So we might have the positions taken care of in the January transfer market, but we may not have the actual personnel for those positions that we would have liked. That's always the way it goes, no matter what your transfer window is, whether it's summer or January. And usually in January, I think Mal knows this very well, that we don't have a robust transfer market. We usually don't. I think of the year that we got relegated from the Premier League the last time around. We did get 3 players in. Samir was one of them. I think also, if I remember correctly, and I forget his name now, the young brother that won Player of the Year for us that year, I forget his name all of a sudden. We got him, and we got a 3rd player who now I'm forgetting. Could have been Kayembe for all I remember. But we got 3 players in that transfer window, and I thought we did pretty well that January. That was January, I think, of 2022. We did pretty well in that window to get those 3 players. And his name escapes me now, the left back that we had. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name, but he was our player of the year a few short seasons ago. And I think he came in January. So Mal, we'll hope for that. We'll hope that we get something good and robust in January, because we need that. I think it's very clear we need a striker. And we'll see what happens with it. So thank you for the comments as always. And then Jack Bodden says, I'm quite good, Omar. Oh, yes, I read that already. Sorry about that, Jack. Watford Eric has joined us. Hello, Watford Eric. Good to see you. We've got about 5 more minutes here before heading off to get ready for the match at Hillsborough today between Watford and Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday are the hosts at Hillsborough, taking on our mighty Hornets. Watford will be looking to keep things going. Here's one thing I want to say. Our defending has to really be good today. We've now gone, and at the risk of jinxing, I'm not jinxing anything here if I say to you, we've now gone 3 consecutive halves of football with a clean sheet. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to say anything else, but all I'm going to say is we have gone 3 consecutive halves of football with a clean sheet. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to say anything more than that, right? Because you know what happens when you start to say certain things. Commentators do it all the time, and you know the instant that they say it, that something is going to happen that is opposite to what they've just said. So I'm only going to say for the 3rd time that for the past 3 halves, Watford have kept a clean sheet. And that, I think, is a good thing. That's the longest stretch that Watford have gone this season, in that vein. So we'll keep it there, shall we? Michael Hobson says, I have a gut feeling that one of our subs will score a winner later on in the game, possibly Vatter or Jefferson. And yeah, you know, Jefferson is, I think I did see his name on the team sheet today, Michael, on YouTube. So Jefferson, who had been kept out of the lineup for 2 or 3 games due to lack of confidence, is apparently back on the subs bench. I think I saw that out of the corner of my eye as I got set up to start this or I should say this pre-match. So I do wish Daniel Jefferson the very best. It will be great to see him score. Obviously looking forward to getting his first goal at the club, for the club, as he is coming back now from a 2 or 3 game hiatus. Confidence issues for him. Let's hope that Daniel Jefferson can get out there and show us some of the things that he does well, that we've seen from him at the likes of the other Sheffield club when he played for the Blades, the bitter rivals of the Owls there up in Yorkshire. That's coming up, of course. We're just 25 minutes away now from another match kickoff for Watford. Watford coming off of the 1-0 win against Blackburn Rovers. Daniel Batman is in goal. That's not going to change from the manager's perspective. Duoma starts. I really like that for Watford. I think he is going to make some difference. I think he'll make a difference today. And so we'll see how that pans out. We've got Barr in the lineup. We've got Bio starting. So Bio got the start. So there were those 2 changes, Duoma and Bio getting the starts today. I think those are the only 2 changes for the Watford lineup from last weekend. James Morris on the bench again. Porteous starts. Sierralta starts. I told you about Backman starting. And so Pollock starts. You know, these are all the usuals for Watford. Of course, you've got the captain, Musa Sissoko, starting. And, of course, you have Kayembe starting as well. So I think I've named pretty much all the starters from the top of my head. Tom Ince is the other one I did not name. And so Tom Ince also starts. So, you know, it's relatively the same lineup as it was just last week, with those additions to it in terms of Duoma and Bio. Let's see Bio from the start. Let's see how he works with Kwadwo Barr. He was so energetic last week, Bio. Really impressed with and he normally is, but he got so much more involved. I think the involvement, because the involvement's the thing that impressed me. He's always involved in the games, but up top, Bio can really disappear sometimes, which is an issue. That happens to a lot of strikers, not just him. But what you saw last week from Bio was a real energetic sense and eagerness about the man to really put himself about, and put himself about even more than he usually does. And he was very integral to that win when he came on. He showed you the desire and the spark and the heart. And he's got a lot of that, Bio does. He's a proud man. He's got a lot of heart, got good character. But he, again, had disappeared a number of times in these games. But the thing with Bio that you can always take to the bank, even though we'd love to see him score more, is that he does do other things on the pitch to help the team. Sometimes you don't even appreciate how good he is in other areas of the pitch to help the team out. And so that's a really important thing to note about him. Hello, Jack. Nice to see you. Jack 2000 has joined us on Instagram. A couple more things to comment on and read out here. We're 2 minutes away from saying goodbye on this edition of the You Orns pre-match. We are 22 minutes away from kickoff at Hillsborough between Sheffield Wednesday and Watford. If you'd like to make your predictions now, please do. We've had a number of predictions today on Instagram and YouTube for this match. I have gone with a 2-1 Watford win. Michael Hobson on YouTube has gone with a 2-1 Watford win. Mal on Instagram has gone with a 3-1 Watford win. And Matt on Instagram has gone with a 2-0 Watford win. So everybody who's predicted has predicted a Watford victory and has predicted 2 goals or more. Watford have not scored 3 goals since the game against Stoke City, which is back in August. That's the first home match for Watford this season, if memory serves me, way back in August, because we're now in November. Oh my goodness. And on Tuesday, of course, it's Guy Fawkes night in the UK. And of course, here in the US is a massive election, not to get into politics, but so November 5th is a massive day for both sides of the Atlantic, as we've got Guy Fawkes night on the 5th in the UK. And of course, here in the United States, an election is coming up that is a monumental one here in the United States. But as far as Watford are concerned, here's what Matt has to say. It's good to see Jefferson back in the lineup. This is Matt on YouTube. He said here, he continues, does Matt on YouTube, from what Cleverly said in his interview, that Jefferson has been working hard in training and he's been improving his confidence each and every day. That's really good to hear, Matt. Thank you very much for that. Telling us about Tom Cleverly, giving us his view on how he sees Jefferson in the last few weeks, working up to maximum confidence and getting better every day. Feeling Stronger Every Day is the song from Chicago, the rock band Chicago. And let's hope that that is how it looks for Mr. Jefferson today, who really has not had enough playing time. And when he has had it, has really not impacted the game the way that you would like. But look, I think that there is a brighter moon and a brighter star ahead for Mr. Jefferson. So go on, Dano, give us what you got today at Hillsborough when you come on the pitch. And one more thing here, going to welcome in some You Orns Instagrammers. Thank you very much, Handley, for coming aboard. Billy Hughes, hello, Billy. Nice to see you as well on Insta. And speaking of Billy Hughes, he says this on Instagram. Nice to see you, sir. Let's hope we have good luck today. Absolutely, Billy. Thank you very much indeed for that. Let's hope for that, says Billy. And I agree with you, Billy, on Instagram. He says, let's hope for good luck today. And thank you, Billy, for your comments. Nice to see you as ever, as always. Thank you very much indeed. And one more comment before we go, coming from Matt on YouTube. Thank you, Matt. Thank you to the commenters on YouTube, Michael Hobson, and also to everybody on Instagram who has chimed in today. We will come back, of course, by the way, for the post-match here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. We'll also do X as well. Steven72 has joined us on Instagram. Hello there, Steven or Steven72. Nice to see you here. I want to read out this comment from Matt on YouTube. Hello again, Matt. Thank you for your comments. Week in and week out, they are greatly appreciated. Everybody is greatly appreciated here on You Orns pre-match on YouTube, and of course here on Instagram. And what Matt says is this: for me, last week Bio wanted to prove to the fans he's still here for the team, even though he's only on loan. Thank you for that, Matt. Bio definitely showed you something really good last week, and I think that I think you're quite right about this. He does not want to disappoint the fans, and he wants to remind them that he's here and that he's going to give of his best. We all know now that he did not want to be at Watford. He wanted to actually leave the club. And Tom Cleverley was one of those who was begging him to stay. And Tom Cleverley convinced him to stay at Watford for this season. And then obviously Bio wanted to move on to different pastures. And so Udinese has taken him off the Watford hands, Watford payroll, although of course they're owned by both by Gino, pardon me. And the bottom line is that what you've got here is a man who is still very proud, still cares. He still cares about the club, even though he wants to move to something different. He still cares. The man does care. You just want him to score goals. We wanted to see more goals from him. And I think that that will be the legacy, unfortunately, of Bio, is that he just doesn't score enough. But one thing that any Watford fan, that no Watford fan can criticize him on, is his work rate and his effort for the team. And that's why I'm a big fan of his, because he does put in a shift every time out, and he is a team player. And, you know, that's the man cares about that. And you don't see that all the time. So thank you for your comment, Matt. Thank you to everyone who's commented on YouTube and here on Instagram. Thank you very much, Stephen72, for following as well. And you can follow on Instagram and on YouTube, please, at YOU ORNS WFC on Instagram, and also on X, by the way, at YOU ORNS WFC on X. Of course, on YouTube as well, please subscribe to the YOU ORNS WFC YouTube channel. And of course, that's at YOU ORNS WFC on YouTube. And of course, we'll be back on YouTube for the post-match right after the final whistle of Sheffield Wednesday versus Watford. And also on X, we'll do that. And then we'll come to you on YouTube on Instagram, as well. Come on, you Orns, bring home the 3 points, Matt says. Yeah, come on. Let's see how we go. We are now 16 minutes away from kickoff. And at this point, I'm going to say goodbye to you. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the podcast as well. You Orns on both Spotify and on Apple as well. So that's it for me on this edition of the YOU ORNS pre-match for Wednesday versus Watford. It's great to talk to you again. My name is Omar, and until the final whistle, when we come back here for post-match, YOU ORNS! Come on, YOU ORNS! Get in and let's go. Come on. Take care, everyone. See you in post-match.